Once you understand that, positive confession starts to make more sense. Because if provision can bypass ordinary cause and effect, then language becomes the imagined tool for controlling that provision. That's where we move from manna falling from heaven to believers being taught that their words can make reality obey. The better question is, what kind of system can make intelligent people ignore what they can clearly see? Because people don't fall into prosperity preaching because they lack intelligence. They fall into it because intelligence is not the same thing as immunity. You can be skeptical in one area of life and still vulnerable in another when the right promise touches the right pain. That's where the psychology matters. Prosperity preaching works because it creates a bypass around ordinary critical thinking. Instead of asking, does this actually work? The believer is trained to ask, am I doubting God? Instead of asking who benefits from this message, they're trained to ask, am I blocking my blessing? Instead of asking, why does the preacher always get richer while the congregation seems to keep struggling? They're trained to ask, do I have enough faith to receive? That's the trap. Spiritual language becomes a shield around exploitation. It protects the system from investigation by making investigation feel like rebellion, doubt, negativity, or disobedience. And once that happens, the person is no longer just evaluating a claim. They're fighting against shame, fear, belonging, identity, and the possibility that the thing they trusted may have been using them. It's about understanding the machinery that made belief feel necessary. Because once you can see how the system redirects questions, punishes doubt, rewards certainty, and blames the victim when the promise fails, you become harder to manipulate. And that's the point of the deep dive. The deeper scam is in the mental framework people inherit, a framework where reality is always negotiable, evidence is always secondary, the leader is always protected, the doctrine is always right, and the person who was harmed is always told to search themselves for the reason that it didn't work.